Caitlin Clark went absolutely scorched earth in the first half against the Dallas Wings today, dropping 19 points in the first half, 21 points by the time she left the game.
Caitlin driving, just speeds right past Beckers. Let's go. Clark open, wide open three, way too open. Bang! Oh, what a steal by Caitlin. Easy lay. Beautiful. Clark, step back. Oh, what a pass too. Just beautiful.
WNBA fans have long thought that there is a different version of Caitlin Clark. A quicker, more aggressive version that had overcome defensive constraints, improved her ability to make shots under duress, and learned how to dominate a professional basketball game as she did at Iowa for 4 years. Somewhere, that version was always present. The majority had simply not yet seen it. Until this preseason, not really, not consistently, and not in a way that eliminated all uncertainty.
So, Caitlin Clark looked absolutely incredible in preseason. Absolutely incredible. And I'm going to be real here. We got to talk about how she could be on MVP watch. She is moving as well as I've ever seen Caitlin Clark move. Also, she is a lot stronger than her rookie year. There was a happy medium coming into this season, and that looks to be the shape that she's in this year.
Because Caitlin Clark demonstrated during the 2026 WNBA preseason that she was more than just an athlete recuperating from a challenging year of injuries. It was more akin to a declaration. During her preseason games, Clark averaged 28 points, 11 assists, and 5.5 rebounds for 32 minutes. 28, 11, 5.5. Here's the thing. As someone who hardly played competitive basketball in 2025, the majority of people do not fully understand what such stats indicate.
And this is a player that's never going to be a good defender. She might be her projection is at her peak to be a bang average on-ball defender. I consider her a bang average defender. I think she's a below average on-ball defender. I think her activity in getting in passing lanes is good, and I think when there's an actual scheme and system, as in refusing screens.
Opposing defensive coordinators were clearly concerned with the amount of open looks she generated for herself and her teammates. And she is doing it as the front-runner for this season's MVP award. Clark has plus 225 odds at BetMGM. At plus 250, Aha Wilson is seated just behind her. In terms of numbers, that difference is minimal. It has significant implications for this league's larger politics.
Now.
Hey Asia, so as the league, continues to evolve, talent across the league continues to rise, just how much more difficult does that make it for you to chase after your 4th championship?
I don't think it's difficult at all. I think it's just, we want the league to be talented. We want it to be a dogfight every single night, only because that's what makes us great. That's what makes the product something that people want to watch and come and support. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem every single year because someone's taking what's already in our house.
We must first establish something before we discuss Aha Wilson's thoughts on all of this, which she does have because she is constantly thinking. This preseason, Caitlin Clark appeared to be the best version of herself that professional basketball has ever witnessed. It's not hype. That isn't the outcome of Clark supporters projecting hope onto preseason games against squads that aren't full. In reality, that is what took place on the court. And everyone who is prepared to see with open eyes can see the tangible proof.
The Caitlin Clark highlights, the Barbie night game. Caitlin Clark in the first quarter generated 14 points from conceding baskets and just either running down the floor and hitting people on layups or going coast to coast yourself. That type of ability to generate transition is huge because this is the best transition player.
This particular thing is worth expressing aloud. Right now, Caitlin Clark's jump shot is at an all-time high. Her pull-up in the mid-post, her floater off the dribble, and her mid-range game all seem more effortless and natural than they have ever been. And her shooting prowess. One of the constant criticisms of her professional game in the first year was that she was a formidable left-hander who might be neutralized by being routed right.
Defenses investigated it.
Coaches have a strategy for it. It was a true constraint. As of May 2026, it appears to have vanished. She is completing things correctly. Everything is going well as she pulls up. She appears to have dedicated a considerable amount of her off-season to addressing that shortcoming, as evidenced by the manner she is making room going forward. You start having real MVP talks when the most talked-about weakness in your game turns into a weapon. And the discussions have already begun.
Billings down low, hands it off to Clark. Clark being guarded by Gardner. Puts the floater up and rattles it in. She is a knockdown shooter. She is feisty over there, making the offensive foul. Clark takes the three.
Let's speak about the assists as well, because 11 per 32 minutes is a statistic that ought to cause folks to pause and reconsider. Playing with a willing supporting cast is not the only reason for that. This player is able to read the defense one pass ahead of time and place the ball precisely where it is needed before the defender can respond. Clark creates open looks by forcing rotation decisions with her shot threat from 40 feet out and then punishing the openings those rotations create, not because defenders suddenly collapse. Her dual role as a system-level engine and a major scorer. MVP voters typically reward players who can score 28 points and dish out 11 assists at the same time. Transformative influence, not only mass output. Additionally, Clark is already changing the Indiana Fever's offense in ways that go well beyond what a box score can show.
Paige Bueckers, who had the 5th highest scoring rookie season last year, as Clark gets by Bueckers and gets to the rim.
Again, a lot of shoes were filled last year.
Catch it, shoot, and Clark delivers with a 3. Lana Smith struggled to pull it down, and it's Clark who sets sail for the other.
This is the portion of the narrative that is sometimes obscured by the individual figures. In the preseason, the Indiana Fever prevailed handily. The group surrounding Clark appeared competent, self-assured, and prepared. Kelsey Mitchell appeared interested.
There was clear spacing.
Indiana wasn't a team hoping that Clark could handle everything on her own. They were a high-level functional unit. Additionally, Clark's presence improved every aspect of their work. Voters are not merely awarding specific statistics in a vacuum, so that context is important for the MVP discussion. They are awarding athletes whose efforts actually improve their squad in ways that affect results. With Caitlin Clark healthy and focused, the Fever appeared to be a formidable team at the moment. And the reason Clark should be at the top of the MVP discussion before the first regular season game is even played is because of that version of the Fever, the team that appeared in these preseason games.
All right, y'all, good job, okay? Good job. Game one. I thought our energy and our effort was really good. But overall, y'all, it was a really good effort, okay? A really good effort. I'm pleased with the way that we went out there and battled. So good. Be proud of yourselves, okay? Here we go! Together, 3, 1, 2, 3, together!
Let's now discuss Aja Wilson, since without her, the MVP discussion would be incomplete. You can learn everything you need to know about the dynamic that has shaped this league for the past 2 years, from her response to finishing second, even by the smallest of betting odds. Wilson has received 4 MVP awards. 4 times, including the previous 2 seasons. While Caitlin Clark was still in college, she played dominant, reliable basketball year after year, earning all of the trophies that make her one of the most decorated players in NBA history. There is no disputing that record. No one who truly understood this league would attempt to deny her that. However, this is the problem with Aja Wilson. She has made it very evident in very precise ways that she does not always agree with what she hears, and she is well aware of how this league speaks. In December 2025, Wilson was awarded Athlete of the Year by Time magazine. During the interview, she did more than just acknowledge her accomplishments. She made a strong case using the platform. "Sometimes you need a proof in the pudding," Wilson remarked. Go over that quote again. It wasn't a speech of gratitude. It had nothing to do with a fantastic basketball season. It was a clear and intentional reaction to the persistent idea that Caitlin Clark is the only person associated with the commercial momentum of the NBA. Wilson gave it with the cool-headed assurance of someone who has been sitting quietly while someone else is referred to as the face of a league she has controlled for years. Wilson has always claimed that she is the league star, and the record amply supports this belief, so the sports world understood exactly what she was saying. She can prove it with the trophies. She has been patient about it and has the power to defend it. until patience begins to appear as like she is losing the conversation. Additionally, she does not like the way the discourse is now going, with Wilson at plus 250 and Clark at plus 225.
And so we have to do everything that we can to defend it. We have to make sure that we don't lose ourselves in the process. And so I want to make sure that our locker room understands that yes, there's a target on our back, there's going to always be one, but we have to stay true to us and our system and how we're going to be moving forward. No matter what the outside noise may be, no matter what the league may look like, we have to continue to be the aces in the standard that we've set. So yeah, really, I can't really concentrate on what everyone else got going on. I can only pay attention to what we have in our locker room, and I think we have something pretty special.
This is what distinguishes this issue from being simply another social media dispute and makes it truly fascinating. Early in May 2026, the WNBA released its annual GM survey, which revealed an intriguing tale. A'ja Wilson was predicted as MVP by 60% of general managers. 27% went to Breanna Stewart. Despite receiving votes, Caitlin Clark did not take the lead in any category. On one side of the ledger, therefore, are the insiders, those who manage WNBA teams and keep a close eye on this game, largely forecasting Wilson repetitions. Additionally, the betting markets place Clark at the top of the ledger on the opposite side. It is possible for both of those statements to be true simultaneously. The general managers are making their assessments based on Clark's performance history, durability, and a measured skepticism about her ability to sustain her preseason form for a run of nearly 80 games. The popularity, trajectory, and gut feeling that a healthy Clark, like the one we are currently witnessing, is actually the most dangerous offensive player in women's basketball when everything is going well are the factors that the betting markets are analyzing. Wilson is aware of the validity of both arguments, which is why this MVP contest will define the 2026 season in ways that go well beyond who takes home the trophy in September.
Why couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover and said the WNBA is the league of the year because of all the talent that we have?
Why couldn't they have made a league the athlete of the year? Because the athlete of the year award goes to an, meaning one, athlete. A better question is, why can't you be happy that this is the first time an athlete from the WNBA has gotten this award? Why are you not simply clapping for Caitlin Clark and saying, good job, guys, the WNBA is getting more representation?
Right now, everything ends up here. The frontrunner to win MVP in the 2026 WNBA regular season is Caitlin Clark. As a professional, she is faster than she has ever been. The physical constraints that made her susceptible in 2025 have been eliminated. She is more active both off the ball and in the defensive passing lanes. Her mid-range, jump shot, and right-hand shooting skills are all performing at career-high levels. And her preseason per 32-minute stats, 28 points, 11 assists, and 5.5 rebounds, are the kind of output that usually gets a player through the first few weeks of a season while the league is still getting its bearings. A'ja Wilson has spent 2 full years earning MVP awards while listening to the larger sports world argue if this league needed Caitlin Clark to matter commercially. None of it will rest well with Wilson, and it was never going to. She has challenged that narrative in a straightforward and plain manner. She has witnessed Clark's name dominate every significant WNBA discussion, including jersey sales, TV ratings, and arena attendance, while her own 4 MVP awards are kept on a shelf that is rarely spoken outside of ardent women's basketball circles. That is a legitimate source of genuine frustration.
Driving, stops. What a pass! They said she's not a point guard. Like, what are you talking about? Raven using the screen. Great pass! Swing! Wide open Clark. Don't even gotta look. Bang! Caitlin. Caitlin dancing with AZ. We're dancing. You're with Paige, but I'm dancing with you. Foul. Great pass inside to Mitchell. Gosh. Clark, another pass to Kelsey! Deja vu! She can't pass.
Wilson's accomplishments make it impossible for anyone to deny her the right to serve as this league's spokesperson. However, here is where sports become challenging and sometimes awkward. It's important to state clearly that being the best player and being the most talked about player are 2 separate things. And Caitlin Clark may be in the running to simultaneously own both of those talks for the first time in her career. Wilson has a 60% chance of winning GM votes. Wilson is capable of defending her MVP award. Wilson is capable of doing anything she has ever done on a basketball floor, and she most likely will, as she is a generational genius who doesn't stop being amazing just because someone else is receiving recognition. However, the MVP contest will be a real season-long contest if Clark starts the season healthy and in the kind of form we've seen this preseason. A'ja Wilson will also be affected whenever Clark's name appears above Wilson's in a headline, whether it be in a social media post, a broadcast graphic, or a betting table. She does it every time that on May 9th, the 2026 WNBA regular season kicks off against the Dallas Wings. The cameras are prepared. The league is prepared. Additionally, Caitlin Clark is starting a season as the betting favorite for the largest individual award in women's basketball for the first time in her professional career. That change is significant whether or not she wins. And the player who has been in that role for the past 2 years is keeping a careful eye on things.